Hello, GM everyone. We are back for day 7, and what we are doing today, we are constructing something which is called a contract factory. Now, yesterday we built this Buy Me a Coffee simple contract, which was consisting of an address receiver and an address payer. This is the artist for whom the tips are sent, and this is the payer who is sending or buying the coffee. And we had a mapping of who has sent what amount and the struct. Now, what does contract factory ensure? So the official definition for that is, what is contract factory? So contract factory sends a special type of transaction, which is an init code. That is, it initializes a contract, right? So something that will be a flow will be like someone comes on this front end, and there they have a button called connect wallet or whatever, connect wallet. Cool. And when they connect their wallet, they are able to have a button, and there is a model called enter your name and your wallet address, and there is a button of deploy my contract. Deploy my contract, right? So this is what we are doing here. So when they deploy this contract, the request will go to this contract factory, and the contract will deploy a BuyMeCoffee contract for this person, right? It will ensure that this person has its own BuyMeACoffee contract, rather than in one coffee contract we hold this. Everyone can have their own specific contracts. So this contract will be replicated for this guy, and it will be pointed to here. So if someone comes again, we can just replicate this and have another implementation of this. So it's basically many objects of one class if you're talking in web 2 terms. And now let's go to the IDE. So this is the contract that we wrote yesterday. I have initiated a day 7 repository here. It will be pushed. So this is what we have today, and let's go for a contract coffee factory dot sol, and we'll go for the SPDX license identifier, MIT, Pragma, Solidity, 820. Now, what's important here is that we have the implementation of this, right? So this contract needs to be able to handle multiple implementations. It should not be that I will be deployed only once. Okay. So now let's import the contract by me coffee from buymecoffee.sol. That's the name of our contract, buy me coffee. By coffee.sol. Okay, that's cool. And now let's init a contract coffee factory, and this coffee factory, sorry, this is what I was missing at. Now first we need to see that there is a mapping. So mapping of address to address, it is public deployed contracts. Okay, so we can fetch all the contracts that are deployed for each artist. Now this can be one to one or one to many. So let's think about this. So one artist, let's say artist A can have multiple coffee contracts. So he can have this contract too, he can have this contract too, but what we are ensuring here is we'll keep it one to one. Okay, so that will be easy for us to manage. So now event, so contract coffee contract deployed, address of artist and the index. Okay, now function here will need a create coffee contract. I was misspelling coffee yesterday a lot. String memory name external Now what does this do is it first checks that if uh, deployed contracts message.sender not equal to 0. So if the guy already has a contract deployed, we'll revert it contract already deployed, and let's check this. So if deployed, report with contract already deployed. If not, then a new contract will be deployed for message.sender, and it will be added into the mapping, and this will emit a coffee contract deployed. Now let's just return that get all deployed contracts. That's it. And we can have an address of array which will be mapped here, and this is what we are. So this is a simple contract, very simple contract. Now we don't need any implementation here basically, else we would need to deploy this first and then we'll need to go for this. So what will the deploy structure for this be? So what do we need here is we just deploy the coffee contract. So what is the first step of deployment? The first step of deployment should be deploying the BuyMeCoffee factory here, and then whenever the artist is coming on the page, they can call this coffee factory and they can get their contract deployed, right? So let's try to actually first do it in Anvil, and then we'll see if it works in whatever Sepolia with a front end. Okay, PC URL is equal to, let's go for Anvil here, and these are the basic steps that we do daily. And private key is equal to the private key that is here written here. I love the first one, so let's take the first one, and then we can write a deploy script here. So let's remove this. Let's say this is deploy factory s dot sol dot sol. It's not dot sol, it's dot s dot sol, and let's go for the sptx license identifier MIT and pragma solidity. Will be script, and BuyMeCoffee is also imported here. And now actually we don't need this BuyMeCoffee here, and the main thing that we need to do is, so yeah, what we need to ensure is that we are deploying this coffee factory first, and we do not directly interact with the original contract. We'll just interact with the coffee factory. So deploy factory is script, and then we'll deploy this function run external, and then we can go for vm.start broadcast and vm.stop broadcast in between. Then we can have a new factory is deployed to whatever address that we need. Okay, then we can run an interaction file, but we'll do that later. Okay, so let's try to deploy this on Anvil first. Script let's just source the env first, and we can go for forge script slash deploy factory dot sol rpc url private key. Okay, that's what we need here. So we have deployed it to this address. Let's put it here. Factory is equal to this. Okay, now let's source the env again. Now let's interact with this factory. Okay, the function that we need is, first we need someone who is an artist, so his or her private key will be like this. An actual front end will let it the user connect their wallet and sign from that wallet, so we get their private key or like the signature for their private key. Let's interact now. Okay, so let's source the EMB again, and then let's send factory, and we'll call the function of what was the create coffee contract, and there is a string needed here, and then we'll go for RPC. Oh, string will be let's say heart for now. Wish I was an artist, but whatever. RPC URL private key $artist. Okay, if this goes through, then we'll have a coffee contract deployed. A coffee contract is deployed actually, so let's get the address for cast call, and this will return get coffee contract and returns and rest. Okay, and let's go this. Let's call it back. Contract does not have any code. Okay, that's scary. Why does it not have any code? Okay. Ooh. So this is some error that I've been very much getting here. So contract does not have. Oh, sorry. The contract does not have any code. So why does it happens? Okay. For publishing a contract, Solidity code, whatever. So let's call the contract cast code, and let's see if this guy has any code here. So it does not have any code basically. That's where we are getting stuck. Okay, I think this is a very private key error type of thing which we are currently getting in this. The private key error that we are encountering is this deploy script is not reading the dot environment. Okay, so let's say make this read the dot env private key. Okay, let's see that. Okay. That's good enough. Now let's try this again. Okay. And let's try this again for just script. And this is what we get here. Now the address is same as I've told you again and again that Foundry and this Anvil is very deterministic, so you can determine what address will come next. But in real life, it won't be the case to some extent. So now let's call that now. Last code factory. Is there some code here? Damn, this is scary now. So when we go with the traditional what do you say, that traditional method of deploying the contracts, that is through for script, for create src the coffee factory dot sol, and whatever the name is here, coffee factory, and when we give it rpc url $rpc url private key $private key. So this goes through, I mean it will go through, this goes through. Okay, now whenever we try to cast call this address, and then we try to get the deployed contracts, and it will return an address array. So that's what we need. RPC URL, RPC. It will return an empty array. So it gets deployed when we are using forge create, and it does not get deployed when we are using deploy factory. So that is an error that is worth solving. I'll debug it at the end of the video, but let's just keep going for now. So this is the address that we need to interact with. So I'll spin up a front end in a minute, and then we'll get back to how can we get this factory up and running in a front end. And also we'll also deploy it to Sepolia if that's needed for the initialization. But for now, let's keep it to Anvil. Okay, we are back with the front end, and let's connect wallet. So we have a wallet connected here. Now let's see if this is or not, which is not. Let's connect wallet, and it is by default connecting to the first account. So we will need, oh yeah, it's the right account. We want to deploy a contract from this. So let's go for hard, new contract, by, okay. And let's see if this deployment contract deployed successfully. So if contract is deployed successfully, then this function should work, but it's not working, right? So there is something wrong with the script.js that I have written. Text wait. Let's see again if it's getting deployed. Not calling it, calling it. Or there is some problem here. Let's see the console. Yeah, it is failing. It is failing here. And let's see this. So the problem is unpredictable gas limit, and the transaction is called. So processing response error, uncaught in promise. This will be the problem here. So let's go to our AI friend and let's toggle this. I'll explain the error, but this will do a better explanation than what I will be able to do. Yeah. And it's being thrown during the estimate gas. It's really going on. Contract already deployed for that guy. Okay. Contract is already deployed for that guy. That's the error here. So let's go back to the page where we have our all coffee contracts here. Let's see the console. Is not a function. Oh damn. Read factory. Factory. List all contracts. Read factory. Let's fix this error. Provider will be this guy and this guy. Track list and 0.0 ETH. This is right. This is right. Let's refresh this at list contracts. Okay. So is this a function here? So deploy factory. And when we go back to coffee factory, we see that get all deployed contracts is the function that we need to call. Get all deployed contracts is the function that we need to call. And function is the function called. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean it's getting called, but it's not getting populated. Let's just console dot log contracts. Let's go to the console debugging, and the array is 0. So there are no contracts deployed for now. So that means that this deployment that is happening here is not actually getting valid, right? It's not getting validated. So what we'll do is we'll import another wallet in this. So how can we do that? We go to Anvil and we go to another private key. Let's say this guy, and let's import one new wallet here. Add import private key, import and let's go refresh. Go and let's say disconnect. Yeah, we'll deploy from this guy. So let's connect wallet, still from this person. Let's disconnect. This is strange. We are disconnecting from everywhere, yet this is not getting disconnected. So let's restart the server. This happens sometimes when we are using HTML. So this is the problem that we are encountering. And let's refresh this guy. Let's deploy connect wallet. Connect wallet is always going to this guy. So let's see the problem here. Connect to this wallet and not this wallet. I want to use this wallet. I want to use this wallet. But by default it reverts to wallet, another wallet. Okay, and when we go for this connect wallet, so this is the problem here. Default wallet drift you're using is not connected to MetaMask, not your target. So resolve it by address. Now let's try doing this. Let's resolve it by address. Okay, let's see if this works. Deploy contract, connect wallet. Yeah, we got this right. Okay, now I want to deploy a contract for this guy. Let's say triple extend dash. Let's go for Travis Scott, as if he need a void, if he needs it. Deploy contract deployed successfully. That's the message that comes here, and I see no errors in this. So that's what we need actually. And I want to actually log the log tx. I want to do that, but now I need another wallet here. So let's just import another wallet. Let's import. Actually, we should see all this here, going here, but I see all this empty arrays. So contract is not getting deployed. The contract is not getting deployed. Contract is not getting deployed, right? And let's give it the Coffee Factory code that is creating a contract. So here it is. It will be better if we interact with this on Sepolia or something, so we can directly see the logs here. Yeah, I want to actually catch the error exactly. That's what we need here. So if it is failing, I want to see why it is failing, right? Not that just be in the guy and not anyways, right? So add wallet, private key, import what we have here. We have a new private key here, which is the guy with 6A, that is A65 guy. Yeah, so let's get the A65 guy here, and that's it. And whenever we go to this guy, erase here. So let's connect wallet. What are we failing at? Invalid address. That's the problem. Oh yeah, that's the problem. So we need to take this guy rather than that. Okay, we can do something else also here. That is, we can directly pass the private key, connect wallet, wallet connected. Yeah, I think that's it. It's signer. address. Okay, let's go for divine and let's try the contract transaction, send transaction, mind. Transact contract address is null, so we are not actually getting any contract deployed here. So we need to see. Suggests that contract creation fails. So the transaction got mined, but it got failed. So let's read through these logs here. So Byzantium is true. That is, everything is right in our thing. Logs. This is not we want, and topics. Let's go for the problem here. Okay. Let's see if we can deploy a contract to command line first, and then we will see if we can. Okay. Send that, and then let's see if we can get deployed contracts here. Oh, still not working. Still not working. That's something that we need to fix here. So let's try to read through these logs as we are debugging here, and we need to see if everything works right to get the create contract. Okay, the main problem is we are not getting the create contract here. So yes, the error that we were encountering was when we were writing the ContractFactory.sol. We have this mapping, but we did not have a call to this mapping, and we were just calling it for address 0. So instead of that, we can have an address deployed contracts, and we can push to that address here. So all deployed contracts dot push, and it returns an address memory and return all deployed contracts. So now let's restart everything, and let's restart this, and let's say forge. I was testing everything here. Forge create, that's what we need here. And then let's call the ask send factory, and we call create coffee contract. Okay, string, it needs a string, and the string is hard, and rpc url $rpc and private key will be $artist. Okay, boom, that works. Now what is the thing here that we need to see? That we get the contract address here. See, this is the contract address that it is deployed to. So now let's try calling the get balance, not get balance, get all deployed contracts. Okay, let's see. So we get the address right here. Okay, so we need to change the front end now. So here we need to go back, and let's say get all deployed contracts is right. Now let's go back to the front end. Let's go back here and let's refresh this. So we get the contract address here, right? So this is the thing that was continuously bothering us, that we were not able to see the deployed contracts here. So now let's fix the error of deploying a contract. Okay, so this will need a very nice signer here. So deploy a contract, send coffee is right, deploy contract is create coffee contract name, and address is same. I think it should work now, I'm not sure. So let's see. Let's see, Travis Scott, connect wallet, connected this thing guy, yeah, minds this. Let's go to console and let's deploy the contract. The contract is deployed successfully, and the logs and the topics will give us everything that will be here. So let's go back this guy, let's go back to this guy, and yes, we see it here. Okay, so let's send some money here. Now this is what a contract factory does. Now I actually also want to get your names. Okay, So let's get the names too. Const coffee contract is equal to new Ethers.contract. That is this, and will be I'm not sure, right? Okay. So I want to list all the contracts along with the name of the guy. Okay. So address is something that we get here for each address. So contracts, console log contracts, what does this return, right? Let's see that. Console log contract returns us an array of 0 and 1. Okay. So contracts is here. So for each, okay, let's say contracts for each, we need a new factory const what do you say that guy, what's the name of that guy, okay, const coffee is equal to new ethers dot contract. Okay, contract is capital, and then we go for address element contract. So it's 0, right? So let's go for this guy and see. This is very easy debugging here. So I want to loop to addresses and get the artist name. Okay, so we can be very good at this. So we'll drop this and so buy coffee, yeah, artist name. And once we are initiating the contract and we get the artist name on this, right? So for const address of address, so whatever this is, let's copy this and go for list contracts. Okay, and let's go back to our supporting artist thing. So this is artist her, this is artist Scott, Travis Scott, and let's go for this and let's send one ETH. I think it will be sent, cannot estimate. So this is what we'll do by sending a ETH like we did yesterday. So ethers.parseutils.ether, let's send more than that. And signer is provider. Dot get signer. Okay. So let's directly use the private key here for now. Let's use the private key from here, and this will be the guy here. Okay. Okay, that's the guy. And let's send some ETH. Inspect this. This should not fail. Signer provider. Okay. This is some error that are tough to debug. I want to actually build a whole project where we debug through these errors, but here it is very tough to do that as we are just using things to compile them everything in, let's say, 30 minutes or 40 minutes. So we need to get the signer here and let's try this. Okay, I think this will work. I'm not sure if it should not work. Send ETH, use MetaMask, connect and confirm. Okay, and send one ETH. The ETH should be sent here. The BuyCoffee is done. So 0.02 ETH was sent. And when we see the address of this guy, let's, why is it not able to copy it? Okay, let's copy it directly. Okay, and let's get the balance of that contract from here. So cast balance, boom, and we see that 0.02 ETH is in there. So that's how you make a contract factory. I hope this was fun and we have covered all the topics. Now, the next topics that we are diving into are ERC 721. Then we'll dive into liquidity pools and how they work, automated market makers. So some really complex stuff upcoming now. And thank you for watching today.